Guardian Unlimited.
This is Zan Brooks at the Guardian NFT interview with Gael Garcia Bernal, and I feel like the oldest git at the party. Now, normally these events are sort of tributes to some seasoned old veteran, and are therefore attended by an audience of seasoned older film aficionados. But Mexican-born Bernal is just 27 years old, and the audience gathered here are largely in their 20s. They're predominantly female, and they seem to me pretty excitable as well. So there's no doubt that Bernal, with his sort of roguish, boyish charm and soulful eyes, is a big hit with the ladies. Fortunately, he happens to be a pretty fine actor too. You could even describe him as the kind of poster boy for La Buena Onda, which was the renaissance in Latin American cinema that occurred a few years back. He kind of epitomised a sort of youthful promise and vitality. And he arrived on the scene with starring roles in a pair of brilliant Mexican movies in 2001, Amores Perros and Y Tu Mama Tambien. From this auspicious start, he went on to work with Pedro Almodovar on Bad Education and Walter Salas on The Motorcycle Diaries, in which he played the young Che Guevara. But he has also worked in the English language on productions like The King, the upcoming Babel, and The Science of Sleep. And it turns out that his English is very good, perhaps a result of studying drama in England as a boy. In fact, as he told interviewer Jeff Andrew, it was while he was actually in London that he got the call to act in Amores Perros. The rest, of course, is history, although, as he says, it didn't feel like that at the time.
In Mexico, very little films were made, and it belonged to a very specific group, a very specific clique, which used to make these films. And my parents certainly didn't participate in that group. I mean, they were more theater actors, and so it just happened. I mean, really, the story is not that. I mean, it might sound romantic in 30 years' time, but right now it's not. It was very immediate. I came here to study, and in the year and a half that I was, in the 3 years that I was here, by the year and a half, more or less, in the second term of the second year, I was invited to do a casting for Amores Perros, and I got a phone call from El Negro González Iñárritu, the director, and he was inviting me to read some of the scenes and to videotape myself and to send it back to him, and I guess that was a casting. I hadn't done a casting before in my life, so I did that. I videotaped it myself. I read it with another person that helped me out, and I actually just read it, really. But I gave everything that I could in just reading a scene, and a little bit after that, I get a phone call back from him, and he says, "Let's do it." And I go, "Yeah, great, let's do it. Yeah, let me read it." I didn't know what was the story about, so he sends me the script. I read the script and I tell him, yeah, I was gonna tell him yes, anyways. And I start to read it, and there was one big problem, which was the fact that my school didn't allow me to work, basically, and they don't allow you in England. Very well thought of. In England, they don't let you miss school. If you miss more than 3 days, you're chucked out. Which is, in Mexico, it's completely incomprehensible that. But here in England, it's what it should be, and I think that's the way it should be. So, so telling this to the director, to Alejandro, he found a very good way. I mean, he's a very good producer in this sense. And like I said before in the last talk, he found out a very good Latin American solution to this problem, which was, he said, well, my cousin is the director of a hospital, and so I can get a justification that says that you had a big tropical disease in your last visit to Mexico, and you'll be out of it, and it was perfect because I was coming back from Amores Perros with no hair as well, and with the scar, like from the accident and stuff. So people believed me completely, and they even told me, because this was only 1 week I missed, so it wasn't that much. But from 10 weeks of a term, yeah, it was a bit of a, especially the movement teacher was very, very, very disappointed. And also because I arrive and she says, well, you have to take it easy, just take it easy. and my other colleagues sent me get well letters to Mexico. It was very embarrassing. Obviously, when 1 year after that, 1 year and a half after that, at the third year, I was invited to do Y Tu Mamá También, because the director of Y Tu Mamá También saw some clips of Amores Perros and helped him with the edit, and so he saw me in the film and invited me over to participate in Y Tu Mamá También. And I come back from doing Y Tu Mamá También to my school, and there's a film that's coming out in Cannes that you're in. and And I was like, oh, well, this little thing. Because it really felt like a little thing. I mean, I remember the last thing I said to the producers when I was doing at the end of Y Tu Mamá También, I told them, can you please record me a VHS of the film so I can show it to my family.